Can someone dash me? I say someone, Taila, can you dash me, I don't know, just anything, just something that will fill up my stuff. God bless you.
I want some too.
Oh, you're not paying for.
I believe one person got all of that.
Hey, bro, what do you mean, fam? My thing is there as well, man.
You brought that one thing, bro.
Shout something.
I'm doing Russian roulette to find out who.
Let me do that actually, because last time you guys were on my case.
This is also ASMR, AMSR, you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, I just clocked what you said, AMSMR. I found out the other day, my sister was showing me videos. People actually love that shit.
Yeah, you get paid. Give you like an OnlyFans account.
An OnlyFans account for that?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Okay, so, OnlyFans.
No, I know what is AMS.
It's something that...
I don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah, we're going to need to Google for that one, but...
It's like a fetish.
People like hearing people eat, like the crunching of it and like tapping of nails and like hearing people type. It's like therapeutic.
Bro, check it on YouTube. See people with...
I'd rather not.
So high.
So somehow this turned into a mukbang,
Yeah.
ASMR.
You must have seen them.
Let me start you guys. Alright, we're back in the studio with the usual suspects, Jamal, Marvin,
Hey.
and we have a special guest today, Taila.
Hey.
Hi guys.
Can I pass it back to you?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
How you guys doing, man? We're all the way in Croydon today.
Narnia.
It was a
It's true what they say. It is true what they say.
Greatest place on earth.
Wait.
You guys need your own airport or something.
We do Gatwick.
Oh my days. How do you find it? How do you find the Croydon area?
Do you know I'm originally from Camberwell, so
Yeah.
to me this is off ends.
I see.
Yeah, I just came out here because I just liked it. Most of my friends and like family live around here.
Oh, I thought you wanted to like get away from people.
I did want to get away, but most of my girls like live around the Mitcham, Croydon area. So just,
Okay.
I get that. I get that.
but it's kind of a nice place if you want to stay low key and pop into to London. Dare I say it? If you need be, and then yeah.
How long does it actually take, like, to get into maybe Central, East?
20 minutes on the train.
That's not too bad.
17 minutes to London Bridge and 15 to Victoria.
Yeah, I can't relate. We can't relate. It took us like, what, 25 minutes to get here today?
That's not bad.
Just here.
Nah, for me it took a while.
Took me an hour still.
Maybe 2 hours, because obviously I'm coming all the way from Essex.
Oh my
It took me
god.
35 to 40 minutes because I came from literally like Deptford. So, you just
Deptford to
said
London
that.
Bridge and London Bridge to Croydon.
Yeah.
Yeah, if even that, I think. Because we had to take a tram again to even get
Tram.
there. Nah,
When I saw the tram, I was shocked.
I was like, what? They got this down here as well.
I was confused. And then Paul was like, "Right, they actually have a tram here." I was just like,
That excited me when I first moved to Scotland tram.
What, for bands?
Yeah. I just
Go on, okay, cool. Wait, where did you go to uni?
Bedfordshire.
Hey.
I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
the experience and everything.
Forgive me. I should be.
Alright, so it's a Friday evening. The majority of us are just finishing work. How was that? How was work today? Hectic. Last time we spoke, you were working on an integration, right? Is that all gone?
Thank God it's all done, fam.
Amen.
You know them Nollywood flicks, fam?
I was literally thinking that. The credits at the end of it.
Exactly. To God be the glory. Bro, ever since I started in July,
Yeah.
up on this project in like August, like late August, and now we're just coming to the end. But the thing is that, don't get too soon, we are competent. Yeah, it was good. But just that, you know, the
Sprints,
middleware,
Yeah.
the middleware that we're trying to integrate everything, yeah, it's just, we're new to it. And like, the guys that were handling the project before, remember I told you,
Yeah.
one of them went to Australia and one of them left. So there's like three of us that like, so you got the PM, you got myself, and then you got my head of tech.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to understand this.
Yeah.
It's called Del Boomi. Del Boomi.
Del Boomi. What's
Yeah,
that?
it's by Del.
Del Boomi. Sounds like a
Yeah.
Nigerian name.
Oh my
Del Boomi.
day! Del Boomi.
Is it like a software or?
It's a middleware.
Oh, okay, middleware.
So let's say
alright.
you want to integrate something from like an external system.
Yeah.
Is it like in between
Yeah,
server
yeah,
and
yeah.
load balancer?
Yeah, because I I'm like my company. We use Salesforce in it, so that's like invitation partner. So
Love it.
yeah,
Love it.
so we're trying to get all their data from that system into
To give you some context, Taylor, I've been teasing Jamal because his manager is trying to send him off to Australia.
I just came back from Australia.
Really?
Really?
That's so.
I don't know, man.
Maybe you can
How long
use
ago?
his.
I just got sent a video by this guy, fam.
Have you been?
I've never been, but I don't know what it is. Like, is it the wildlife for you? Is it the weather?
One year was deadly 60. 2, I've been seeing bare videos, man. I've been seeing bare videos. Hailstones. Bro, these hailstones were coming down like rocks.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're just going through.
No, but
So when you went there, did you see any like mad thing?
Do you know what? I went to Melbourne.
Mm.
So worked there for 2 weeks training for a new company that I'm currently at, and I was just like, oh my god, the koalas, like what am I gonna do? And when you go there, like the city, like Melbourne and Sydney, they don't have any. There's no wildlife. Like it's pretty neutral, if that makes sense. It's only when you go outside of like Melbourne, like Queensland and other places like that, but it's still not as like free as England. Like in the summer, you can sleep with the window open. I wouldn't even dare to do that in Australia.
no,
I wouldn't.
no.
Even though they're always
Just crawling, fam.
You see a wombat just.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
But there's some
Out.
hope there, man. Just let's hope like your company doesn't send you out to the sticks and you're actually somewhere central.
It's probably going to be
You can-
Sydney,
Yeah, it's
No, the company is in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
There you go.
Yeah. But still, fam.
That's an experience.
Still, fam.
Jamal,
You gotta
I'm
secure
not
the
gonna
I
bag.
lie.
saw the news the other day, wildfires, fam.
Yo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
Grateful
really
those
coy
out
out
there,
from
man.
there, but yeah. You should go. You should go. I really think you should go.
How long are you going for?
6 months, maybe.
Ooh.
Well, this is all speculation, like, we don't know yet, but...
It'd be great for your CV because once you see international travel,
That's what I was thinking.
I'll be burning, bro. Do it. Go. But I'll be burning.
I'm
Where's
burning
Jamal?
too, fam.
Jamal, where you at? I was out there, fam. You might
it's
sneak it.
very isolating there because like when I went there, my mental health is impacted because it's like you're on another planet because it's 11 hours plus 1 away. So it's like I wake up in the morning at 9 o'clock. Now I wake up in the morning like 7 a.m. and it's like 6 o'clock. So maybe like my boyfriend, my mum is just coming home from work. They want to like settle down and eat to talk to you. But then now I have to get ready for work. Then at 9 o'clock, you can speak to them, but they're getting ready for bed. Between the hours of like 9 a.m. and 12, it's like 1 a.m. whatever there.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then when you finally do finish work, it's like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon for them, but it's 4 a.m. So for 9 hours, you just don't talk to no one. Twitter's
Yeah,
asleep.
That's
It's
mad.
crazy.
What about Australian Twitter? Australian Instagram? I feel like they've got their own set. Like,
They've got their own like celebrities, their own, but it's not.
Oh.
It's there's black people there,
That's what I was about to say. That.
but
like,
it's not.
Thank you.
They're just like what's it called? Immigrants, like people that just they're not. There's not any black person you see there that's like yourself came on business, but it's not like you see any black people that's there. No,
I'm
it's
sure
not
it'll be
like
like starstruck.
no, they're alright.
Your hair as well. You made it.
You made it, my bro.
Exactly.
You made
They're really nice people.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
an upside down England. Same pub culture.
Oh yeah.
Of
Because
course.
They're British, isn't it?
Aussies.
Yeah.
Hello.
How about you, man? How was work?
Bro, I was working from home today.
Okay.
That was lit. I think today was just chill. Right now, I'm kind of waiting for a new project to kind of be put on. I don't know how much I can actually talk about my company legally. Now, the moment I started actually talking, I started realizing I don't know how much I. Yeah, because it's a consultancy, but because they have ties to other places, I'm just like, I don't even want to risk it.
Yeah.
Because consultancies are places, bro. They're places. If they have ties to companies that are big or anything like that, you don't know what you can say or can't say. That will get you in trouble. So, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I was working on web stuff today.
Okay,
Cool.
that was my next question. Like, could you at least tell us what technologies you've been using, maybe what language you've been writing in?
Angular, which uses TypeScript, CSS.
React.
No. So
No?
Angular is. See, I'm still learning about this stuff. It's so weird. Angular is like one. I can't call it a framework because I need to learn fully about this. I'm still learning about it.
Yeah.
Where it's like you've got Angular and React are kind of like similar stuff, kind of like in the same vein, but not the exact same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So where you have React that does the exact kind of same thing, you have Angular that does the same kind of thing. As I'm talking, I'm feeling like I need to actually explain to the audience what it is. So Angular, that's why I'm just like, if I just start talking, then people are like, I might have an idea as to what it's going on about. Angular allows people to essentially create websites that can refer to data in a way that makes sense. So it would allow you to generate data that can be referred to, and the data would then describe how the web page would be laid out. And a lot of companies use stuff like Angular, React, and other stuff, whatever that I need to learn about, that allow you to actually generate web pages that are quite fluid and consistent.
Yeah.
And very, very, very good in terms of UI and UX to use. That's if you have good UI and UX developers.
Excellent. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It's not too bad.
That's actually really cool.
How about you? How was work?
Work was good. So, little background about my company. I work for a company and they're based in Australia, and they're trying to scale up here. So I'm the only person on site.
Pardon?
That sounds lonely.
Yeah, so I'm the only person on site. So they're really big in Australia. They want to kind of branch out here. They brought me on board. So I'm just the main person. So I would say my work is like from 8 a.m. to like 9 p.m. Because if there's like a deployment or release, then obviously I need to kind of like liaise with the guys. But I absolutely love it. I love the leadership that comes with it. I love kind of like helping with the recruitment process and bringing people on board. It's kind of like I'm in a startup kind of thing, but a role, yeah. So I like it.
There's a lot of pressure.
That's really good.
You being the only person here,
Mm-hmm.
is there like a lot of pressure like waiting your neck?
Do you know what?
Comes with it?
There's a lot of pressure that comes with it, ideally because they've branched out really well in Australia and they have a current client over here. But you know how client and consultancy can go where people are kind of like paid for a service, but I think the main thing that was kind of holding them back was the fact that the time difference. So to reset somebody's password shouldn't take you like 24 hours, but because they're based in Australia, do you get what I mean? So obviously they brought me on board. I can do all those things, but because they're based in Australia, in order to kind of like go onto their Azure portal or Active Directory, I need a VPN token. And then it's kind of like if their servers are down, this and that. So I remember when I first started, they'll be like, oh great, like Taylor, you're here now, could you reset my password? Security breaches, my VPN doesn't work. So it kind of felt like I was going into a job where it felt like I was entering a relationship and having to deal with someone's ex, or like, because it's like they had so much, like there was so much pressure to prove that, like, because I think their contract was based on if they get a London person in, so there was a lot of pressure, like you're here now. So obviously when you're in most tech roles, as you guys know, I would say the first 3 to 6 months are you just learning the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Most roles I've been in, you're not even allowed to kind of like touch certain tokens and stuff until you've like fully immersed yourself. But because I'm the only one here, I literally was just like thrown in. So I'm like learning this complicated infrastructure. I would say I'm a technical person, but my strengths kind of like lie more on the consultancy side. So being able to explain technical issues in layman terms, solution designs, going in for contracts.
That's one thing, breaking it down for you. Like,
That's what I love. I wouldn't say I'm like a DevOps engineer with 10 or 4 months. Well, I don't think Terraform's even been out that long. But yeah, that's just what I do.
Interesting. I had to ask in it because when it comes to DevOps, it's like they settle down, they try and explain to you what DevOps is, and you kind of learn that DevOps is one thing, it's a practice, but then at the same time, it's actually a culture. So
Yes,
like,
yeah.
It's so weird because like for us, it's like, okay, so you need to understand that DevOps is just really a means for me to understand that if I'm doing one part of my job, right, this is why I'm primarily front end, right, so I'll be doing more concerning web development and actually how people would be interacting with any service that's actually being developed. So I need to be able to understand everything, and they have like a T factor or a cone factor or like way of doing things. So you need to have either multiple skills, or you need to be able to be skilled in something and understand how everybody else does things.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds like an IT department in one person.
Yes. Thank you. That is what DevOps is, honestly.
Literally, they need you. So like, do you do front or back end? You do front end as well. No? You do both. You're full stack. So DevOps encompasses full stack, but if I'm doing front end and you tell me anything from the back end, I need to understand it full on, so that I can design, so that you can then like. So whenever I design, I understand what you're developing for, so that if you explain something to me, I can immediately be like, okay, cool. I know exactly that you're trying to get this and this and this feature out, and so I design this and this and this kind of way to actually implement it. Or I develop this and this way to implement it.
I
And it's
see.
so weird.
I see.
Development operations, it's weird.
Yes.
Now got DevSecOps, which is now development.
Yeah.
Go on.
It is infosec.
So that's information security, development, security, and operations. So what you're then doing is, guys, this is now technical. To a podcast. I'm
Bro,
so
it's
sorry.
technology.
Technology.
I know, I don't want to be switching people off. I beg forgive me.
I'm here for the technology.
No.
Okay, so what I'm learning about DevSecOps now is that you have the security is consistently developed in frame of the entire project. So when you're now developing everything, you don't. What people used to do is they start thinking about security afterwards.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to be doing it so that you have the security thought about before, during, and after. So you're processing everything at the same time. So the security is A1. So it's all of that.
I see.
I think.
That sounds good.
Take a breather, mate.
I've been here. I'll be here all week. Anyway, continue.
Well, my day was okay. Thanks for asking, guys.
Bro, we're gonna get to it, fam.
Yeah.
There you go.
Patient, fam.
That was alright.
We don't have time to catch breath. Paul,
So,
how was your week? What's going on?
nah, it's good.
How
It's
are you?
alright. I was a bit stressed leaving home today because I was working on. I'm using Firebase at the moment, right?
On Google Firebase.
Right, yeah. So
Awesome,
I'm
awesome.
working on integrating that into an app that I'm trying to work and create with. So I've been stuck on this bug. Just for, you know when you just come across a bug and you just like do you go to alcohol? Do you turn the thing off?
I'm so
Do you
dead.
go and vent? Like what is it?
Yeah.
You become a drunkard. I love this
What
guy.
happens?
You know one thing I hate about Croydon?
What's
There's
that?
always one.
Yeah.
There's always one.
One little.
And when you see you wanna slap someone.
One person at work.
No, as in like the error, like when you
It's
have
a
to
comma.
minor, yeah.
exactly a comma.
That's a comma
Come on.
delay in
Space looks
deployment.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And they pay you so much money, you're just like the junior devil spot. You're like, shut your mouth.
Exactly. Oh my
Or you
days.
just delete it, pull it back. It was that. It's like
So, nah, it's all of that.
Just one, bro. That, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
We're screaming.
I'm trying to use it
on the
to.
group chat, fam.
Yeah.
Just one small.
Honestly, I'm trying to use it to just take the load off the back end for what it is I'm trying to do and create, and then further into development, maybe I'll take care of the back end by my own self. But yeah, it's can you? Yeah. that's
No,
what
I want you to land in it because
yeah.
you were saying earlier.
Talk to us, fam.
I saw Paul on the way
Talk to
here,
us,
fam. I
bro.
want to know.
Express yourself,
Just
man.
frustrated, man. That's what
Going
it
through
is.
stress, man.
So literally, what it is I'm trying to do is basically authenticate a user. Now, conventional ways of doing so is probably just by an email address and password.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is use an email address and a one-time password.
Oh, okay.
So use Firebase to, do that whole thing.
Yeah.
Use have you heard of Twilio?
no.
I've heard of
Say that a bit slower.
Twilio.
Yeah, I have.
There's so much new stuff now.
I like. I feel so
Yeah.
I'm
uncultured.
still just
Yeah.
making up on CVs. You can literally say, yeah, I use helium. Oh yes. I've
so
heard of that.
dead.
Yeah, like what?
Don't kill me.
I had a
Oh,
recruiter
my
that
God.
used to like interview people and just
Yeah.
throw a fake words like, have you used helium proxy type 5? Yep, I've actually developed that 5. They're like, doesn't exist.
Fam. No, I love that. Can I tell the
No,
story?
go ahead,
Quick,
go
we're
ahead.
gonna finish. When I got hired at my job,
Mm.
one of the reasons why my manager was speaking to me was like, he did like a bunch of checks. And
You didn't lie, did you?
Not once. Not once. The question, he was asking those questions, but then one of the questions he asked, he was like, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Mm.
Jamal, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
I can tell you, well, if you're hiring me,
Yeah.
what I always say is that like a senior role.
You're funny. Go on. Okay, no, wait.
I'm not funny, fam.
let me-
That's what you should say, though.
Okay.
That means that they want, they can see, oh, this guy wants to stay with us. He's not gonna, stuff.
But is that
Even
true?
though I
Is that
agree
factual?
with them, but that's.
I'll let you land. In fact, no. I'll come back to it. I don't have a much about that. Anyway, sorry, doesn't matter. What about yourself?
I mean, I'm assuming by this point, obviously you know what the company is about, and I would find a way to sort of like it. But I would, in 2 years' time, I would talk about the experience that I hope to gain, If that could encompass sort of travel as well, that would be great. So I would just basically talk about what I visualize the lifestyle to be like.
Interesting.
Because when it comes to sort of roles, it's all speculation at the end of the day. So that's my approach.
Okay, Taylor, yourself?
In 2 years, I always kind of say I see myself definitely as a team lead. So kind of like growing in the company, going above and beyond, teaching kind of like the junior people, writing processes, and helping them with like product development, and they seem to love it.
Yeah.
So
I'm taking that.
See, that's the thing.
I remember like when I was younger, I came out of uni, and obviously when you come out of uni applying for jobs, you're still in that I want to impress the teacher mind.
Yeah.
So they're like, so where do you see yourself in a year or two? I see myself heading the division, you know.
Wow. You're wild. I see myself. I see myself in your job.
Yeah, basically, you're trying to like. You obviously you don't know how to do it. I was like, I see myself heading the division. I see myself, traveling with this company, heading up the teams, speaking with the CIO. They were just like, yeah, really ambitious. I got a call from the recruiter that they really loved me in the beginning, but she felt that I wanted to jump before I could fly or something.
Yeah.
And she just basically was just like, in a year you can see yourself taking my job basically. Funny enough, in a year I did actually end up taking, not her job, but having the same senior position.
Oh, okay.
So I got what she meant, but you don't know these things, innit? You just...
That's interesting. I like your ambition. You guys have very good answers.
What was your approach?
So, I am deathly honest. Like, to the point where, like, when it came to it, the guy asked me, and he asked me a bunch of different questions. He tested my technical knowledge. He tested, did you just step on your...
No.
I've never seen that before. I was like...
Wait, you put inside your shoe?
Basically, there was feedback from the mic. Just ignore it.
Timberland boots.
Carry on.
All up in them Tims. Anyway, so I'm like definitely honest. So when he asked me...
He's on a mission after this, fam. What are you up to after this, fam? Trying to make a move. Who's your driver?
He's dressed in all black, fam. For those that are listening, Paul looks like he's ready to take on the world.
What?
He's got a gold watch and everything, fam.
What?
He's comfortable, man.
His hat says Godfidence,
Yes.
Godfidence.
Yes.
But anyway,
Shout out to Godfidence.
looking sharp. Anyway, the guy asked me bare questions. Then he came back and he was like, "Where do you see yourself in 2 years?" And I was like, I can understand where if you were to ask me where you see me or where I see myself in a year or 5 or 10, but 2 years logically doesn't make sense. So when he asked me 2 years, like this could be a very bad thing for. Don't try this at home, kids, because you may not get the job. Because the guy grilled me. Like when I was asked, it was on the phone. I was sweating. Like he was asking me all kinds of questions. I was answering. I was like positive. This is why you need food.
Breathe.
I was answering as correctly or logically or honestly as I could. You asked me that question. I was like, I don't know. Like I know where I see myself in 5 to 10 years, but 2 years is too much of a short time frame within a company because I'm going to be continuously learning. So if you're in the computer science like area, you can't say like you can't definitively say, especially for a consultancy, you're definitely going to be in a position because there's so much you're going to be learning that to even pick up steam to be at certain positions.
Yeah, I get that.
100%.
It's hard to say, yeah, I'm definitely going to be here. 5 to 10 years, I'll tell you, yeah, I'm going to be far. I'm going to be doing well. You know what I mean? I don't even know, but it's one of those ones that he asked me, and I was like, okay, cool. Do you know that's when he came back? He was like, your honesty is what got you the job. In consultancy, they need people to tell them straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever something. You know what I mean?
I would have went home that day thinking, man, I'll get back to the drawing board. We're planning to have 50 more companies tonight.
Bro, I was at home. I went to sleep well.
Indeed, I was just like...
Fam, I was just like, yeah, I think I've done a lot today. I'm gonna go sleep. And that was the time I was doing the night shift as well. So I was like, I'm happy you called. Even when they called me, this job's a godsend. Even when they called me, because I just came back from a night shift, the person called me and I woke up and answered the phone while I was asleep.
Oh no.
And all I know from that call that they originally gave me was like, because I came in and I was in the house for like half an hour, went to bed, called me, yeah, can you have an interview? I was like, I just came in from a night shift. I'm not processing everything correctly. Can you guys call me back around about this time? They called me back, and that's
because you know you're in demand.
Oh well.
When you're in demand, you can do stuff like
That is
literally
sauce.
walking into meetings. Yeah. I just wanted to run the salary by you. Don't want to insult you by the salary. We're just like, oh yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Computer
It's nice
science.
to have yay. Like,
But the thing is, I don't even know if I was just. I think my attitude was, regardless of wherever they put me, I'm going to be doing well. So I'm not.
Yeah,
too stressed.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking at the companies, but I was like, legit, I can't answer your questions right now. I haven't been away for too long.
I think the most important thing is that you were being yourself, straight authentic from start to finish.
I'll be thankful.
So yeah, that's
that's
a
really
great thing.
good. Well done.
I cut you off. Hold on, no, you got to finish telling the story. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Twilio is basically
It's a
that's-
phone thing, you know?
yeah, right. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to authenticate a user via one-time password, I'm using Twilio to basically take a number that is provided by the user and
Yeah.
then text them their one-time passcode basically. So the Twilio, they basically, you have all these credits online. So obviously it's as if you're actually texting yourself. So for every single text a user gets, that obviously is deducted from your actual user account. So yeah, it's pretty convenient to use. It cuts out a lot of actual code, which is great. But it's just, yeah. I mean, we'll see what next week has to offer, man. I'm not gonna look at that code until Monday. I just want to take the direction of the conversation just into that uni talk and uni conversation. So how was that for you? I think it's, forgive me if I'm assuming, but was it you did a bachelor's and then a master's?
No, just maybe I should have a bit of ASMR. So this is my story.
she opened it well. Go on, Taylor.
So this is my story. Okay, so grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? No, so
Oh, this is a story.
yeah.
Yo, man.
So how long I say this bet? So I went to the University of Bedfordshire.
Yeah.
And I studied artificial intelligence and robotics. This was in 2011. I graduated in 2014. So the story of that was when I first kind of like came. So originally, I applied to uni to do aeronautical engineering, chemical engineering, or mechanical engineering. So I got accepted into. I applied for De Montfort, Luton, Coventry, Hertfordshire, and something else. So I applied, and because they're quite like technical courses, I had to do like a technical test to get into the course in it. Especially because I'm a woman and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, let's see what you do. Passed everything. So then, obviously, I'm always kind of like up to date with technology. I've heard a lot about like robotics and like AI in China and stuff. And I just thought, you know what, it's so cool. So I went on the university website and I saw that they had a PhD student who's just been appointed as a lecturer at Bedfordshire, and this is the first time that they teach in AI and robotics. Thought, fuck it, let me apply. Applied. I had to do like obviously a UCAS personal statement. I had to do a bit of a technical test and an in-face interview, and I got in. Obviously, Luton isn't the best uni, but when you're doing a course that is quite new, it changes the position. So if I went to like Luton to do nursing, then obviously King's College would be better to do nursing than Luton. But because AI and De Montfort and Cambridge were the only universities at the time in 2011 doing it, I was kind of like in a red pick position, if that makes sense. That's how I kind of got into it, and it was also, I chose it because I just used to love like Star Wars and Star Trek and stuff. And yeah,
My dad would love you.
So I done that. I didn't do a master's primarily because it was the first time they ever released that course. So a lot of the materials that I was doing was masters as well.
Okay.
So when I would apply for certain positions and they needed a masters, obviously to check your credibility, you'd have to send them over your transcripts. And a lot of the transcripts that I had, or the modules that I studied, is the same as in masters. So I've always kind of worked with people that done their masters because we've done the same modules.
Wow. This one is a smart one.
Yeah, it's the same module.
He's
So
a genius.
because of that, when I was kind of like after uni, I got a bit of work experience, and when I was thinking, let me see, do I need to top it up and do a master's? They were just like, no, you can go straight to a PhD.
That's cold.
Wow.
That is cold.
So I'm kind of like in the mindset of if I'm gonna be like, you know, PhD in like AI, I would not mind that at all.
You are lit, fam.
That is cold.
What? Do you know how difficult? I did AI for my final year of uni, bro. I wanted to. Well, I was dip.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to
Dip.
see Jesus. Like I thought I was gone. Honestly, how are you finding it so far?
What how I done the uni course?
No, as in like progression of AI since you started?
So I studied it in 2011 and graduated in 2014. And I can literally tell you that when I graduated and I went on for jobs, saying you've got a degree in AI was saying like you've got a degree in architecture and archaeology, because it was such an abstract thought. And I don't think at 2014 they even had like cloud-based stuff or Office 365 yet. So everything was still very tapes and databases and on-site servers. So when you're talking about automation and robotics and coding, they're just like, okay, well, do you want to be like a systems engineer, or do you want to be like a car engineer? I'm just like, no. So I'm just like, do you know what? In my spirit, I knew that AI will blow. So what I did is I used to go in a lot of companies, and I literally started my IT career from being like a first line support engineer. And I would go in there, get the job, and because of like my love of coding and my concept of automation, I would find ways to automate what I'm doing at work. So for instance, if you use like service desk tools like Remedy or Jira or Zendesk to log tickets, instead of like logging a ticket, I would kind of like automate, okay, if a ticket hits this threshold at SLA, send out a report, stuff like that. So dare I say, I wouldn't necessarily say it was AI, it was using the concept of AI, and it was just also just understanding like how macros and Excel spreadsheets works, putting in a fancy diagram, and they loved it. So because of that, I managed to progress very quickly to like team lead position, and then I got my ITIL. My Prince 2 came with my degree as well, because it was
Prince 2, we covered that briefly, but that is long.
Yeah.
The processes of Prince 2, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
That's amazing. I think you touched on the topic just briefly, but obviously we all watched your and are subscribed. Well, I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
So
This is my phone.
do it now.
I was needed to
Don't look at me and let me talk. Even though I watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, could you tell us about your it was your final year project, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So my final year project was done in 2014, and I done a thesis on driverless cars. So I done a thesis on driverless cars, and I also produced a mini robot to drive through like a fake street with sensors. So obviously at the time, AI wasn't really developed to adhere the concept of driverless cars to like I don't know what kind of sensors they use now. So back in the day, it was like infrared. So what it would do is that it would detect the heat of a living thing and know to swerve. So that's kind of like what I did. And I use vision sensors as well. So if there was no heat to detect, then it would still be able to avoid an object if it was opaque, like a block. So that's what I did. It involved a lot of research. In the end, I got a 2-2 because I think I failed one exam or something. But I passed. What kind of saved is that I passed my mechatronics exam. So that's what kind of like bust me through a lot of jobs, because one of my master's modules was mechatronics, and my final year project popped as well. I was like 1 mark away from a 2-1.
Oh man.
But you know when you want to graduate in the summer, innit? So I didn't really like go back and like.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I wish I did, because I would have applied for Oxford.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What on earth is mechatronics?
So mechatronics is basically maths, coding, and the concept of like engineering. So it would be, okay, you've got a driverless car here. Looking at the square area of this driverless car, it's basically like Pythagoras theorem. So it's like if you want to code an object to move, I don't know, engineering is just kind of like coding it and it moves. Whereas mechatronics is like you've coded it and you move, but you've also taken into consideration the circumference of the square mile of the object. So if it moves at this speed, how would it impact this and that? I got a B. I was really surprised.
Now your code.
I was really surprised at myself.
As well.
I am dumbfounded right now. Like this one. Oh,
as well,
Jesus.
mate.
Mechatronics is proper cool. I was like really.
You got a B, yeah.
I was surprised because it's written as well.
Yeah. On that topic of self-driving cars, I think I was watching Trevor Noah the other day, and basically he was making this one joke about how I think it was Tesla that are releasing their line of self-driving cars, and how it may become and evolve into a disruptive technology for taxi drivers.
Yeah.
By the way, you have a new subscriber.
Yay!
I was trying to subscribe. I can't. Is it Talia Sky?
Yeah.
So guys, go follow or go check out Talia Sky.
That's on YouTube.
We'll follow the thing, guys.
That is on. Yeah.
Women in tech. Rap.
You need to support. But go on. Go on.
So, yeah, and how self-driving cars may be a disruptive technology, right? and how Tesla are trying to create this new thing where you basically you can get your car to drop you off at work, and it can go and pick up other people and take them to their destinations as well. So you're earning from your own car as well. So he was making this whole
But
joke.
everyone's gonna do that, innit? All going to be eating off each other.
I'm sure they'll find a way to just completely dominate the market. But he was making this joke of how like how you get people for hire, as in like hitmen. He was making a joke as in like cars, you can get cars for hire, so your car, it could go up and you're not knowing what it's done. It's had this whole day just emming people. By the time it comes back to you, you just don't know.
They're that Alexa voice. Alexa, why is there blood on the car?
The companion.
So I was
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
I was laughing for ages.
You literally hear that voice back as well.
Yeah.
Why is that blood? Is that someone's brain? Mary? What's going on, Alexa? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
So just based on that, what do you think about the direction of self-driving cars? Do you like what you see?
So from my studies, the concept of driverless cars was mostly like tested in America, and they noticed that it works perfectly fine in colder climates because it was easy to detect heat. But in hotter places, so like Amazon tested it in Arizona, for instance, everywhere is hot. So that's how they kind of moved the technology and used Google GPS, if that makes sense. So I think it was good, but I think what's kind of like holding back driverless cars is, one, the cost of manufacturing. Two, we need to kind of hire much more skilled people to kind of like create these cars. And then if we're going to hire people to create these cars, we're going to have a whole new generation of cybersecurity analysts, because people's cars can technically be hacked now.
Yeah.
So kidnappings can happen, like, oh yeah, what's the GPS? Like, there's so much things that can happen. So I think right now they're looking at the cost. They're looking at also the cost of building the infrastructure on the roads to do that, because we've got Google Maps at the moment, but for driverless cars we need to maybe put sensors on, like what they call traffic light systems, and maybe did have to be sensors on the road. How much is that going to cost? Trillion. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot involved. I think they are kind of like releasing a couple for test, but I think they're going to be mainly for commercial use. So maybe like I think it'll take a while for you to see like driverless buses or lorries, if that makes sense too. There's a lot of insurance behind it, so if a driverless car does knock somebody over, who takes the blame?
That is true. I was listening to an interview just on that, and it was talking about how we need more people of color in tech, and basically just the backstory or the context to that was, it was trying to explain that if you have a team of developers that are just literally one race, like they're not multiracial at all, then the way their code would be like you can program for things such as like you just get programming bias, right?
Yeah.
So like given the situation that a casualty of a fatal accident was about to happen, how do you differentiate from one person to the next?
Well, and that's another thing that's kind of like holding the concept of AI from progressing, because essentially when you code, you are God. Do you get what I mean? And anything that we create or infiltrate through your code is based on our personal biases. So for instance, if I'm Christian or if I'm Arabic and I believe homosexuality is wrong, then if I code a robot to be a robot police, it's going to stop two men from kissing. But then in the Western world, that would be seen as okay. So there's so much stuff in our society that we kind of have to basically what kind of divides us at the moment by our standards of living and morals is religion, right? But you can't code something to have a religion.
All right, so if you have any advice just for the young people coming up in tech today, what would it be?
Be honest with yourself and your technical capabilities. Never go for a role that's paying you more than 45k if they don't have a technical test in the interview, because you will be spun on the job. I always kind of question if you're paying me anything 65k and above, or day rate of 450 and above for like a cloud infrastructure engineer or something that's very technical. And I always ask, what's the interview stages? Oh, it's going to be a telephone interview. Like, I like going through interview processes and I like to be grilled, because coming from a working class background and like looking at the money that I'm on, sometimes you can't believe it. So there's a lot of anxiety going in because you're thinking like you've got like fraud on your forehead, isn't it? Like you're thinking like people like, how was the work? You heard something about the work? Like, no? Like what about the work? Huh? So I like being grilled. I like having a technical phone call. I like having a technical on-site test where they can see me writing it. So when I get the job, I'm like, like I know my shit.
Yeah, you know.
Don't go for roles that just take your face value. There's no way somebody can say, oh yeah, we need a senior Python Golang developer. They don't technical test you.
Yeah.
They're just looking to fill a role. So it says a lot about the company culture. Don't get too gassed if you go in a role and you see other black developers, because not all skin folk or kinfolk.
Oh yeah.
I've had
Why did you look at us, fam?
No, as in like.
You didn't know in your head.
I've had like a lot. There was one company that I worked for, and I got fired. To be honest, went in there. They said I was the best interviewer. Absolutely smashed it. Started the role. Everyone loves you. I was like, got in the role now. Done really well. Where the CEO personally chose me to represent him on his biggest client to do a software implementation in Santander in Spain. And then to do another one on site. He said I absolutely smashed it. Was going through the work and managing the clients, and my manager was getting lots of like good reviews because of one time I had a client that was quite rude, and I was told that French clients can be quite aggressive, so they were just like stand your ground, do it right back. All of a sudden my manager, because I just decided to be like, he doesn't think I'm right for the role and the culture, and I just came back from a meeting handpicked for the CEO. I've only been here for 3 months. Even if you thought I was doing something wrong, there's no steps of remediation. There was just other little stuff I was doing, like I would say at my age and the kind of salary that I'm on, it's not that I'm just technically good or smart. I know how to play the game, if that makes sense. So for instance, I know it sounds bad, if I go to a work environment, a lot of people just assume that, oh, if you're black, you're going out with this boy or this girl, our cousins. Like, so for me, I try to show myself to be as diverse as possible. So if I want to go to the pub, it'll be with Jamie or Olu, like everyone can come. I don't just hitch up with the black people. But I got in this role and they were just like, no, like it was like a mandem that kind of like brought me in. It's like, no, I'm working there, it's lit, my boy's the recruiter. And I was like, yeah. It's like, fam, sis, do you get me? Like, trying to black up the place, like be yourself. Got the role now. I got in, and then the first week my grandma had a heart attack in it. But she's okay in it. But she was in Ghana, so Jalen was like, oh, I can't do anything in it. So they were just like, yo, sis, like, I heard a phone call, like, good. And I was just like, yeah, my nan, she's just not well in it. Now go on. I'm like, no, like,
what you're doing with the accent. Right?
Yeah, I'm actually just like, bro, I'm actually bearing this.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, like I've just started. She's in Ghana. There's nothing I could do. I'm not upset like that. They're like, no, like you need your head to be in the game. Like I could tell you're not good. I'm like, no, it's first week. I'm training. Like it's fine. Like JJ, like just rest in it. They're like, no, it's just like trust me. Like I'm nice with the manager. He's like kind of like a small team. He's like, go home. I go home now. Work starts at 9. I'm in at 8:30. Right, every day, bare early, you know. Yeah, work starts at 9, innit? You know, but you're cool. Like this is a co-working space. Like all the managers are based on straight. Like sis, you're not adult. If you got work to do, just make sure you do it. Like if you want to come in at 9:30, no one's gonna snitch. Like it's cool. So obviously a month goes by, 2 months go by, they black up the place with like more people that are in sales, and they're black and they're mandem and girls. So you're not seeing it as a corporate job that I have to be in at 9. Like in my head now, I'm this person that can assimilate into crowds and play the game, but work starts at 9, finishes at 5. I'm coming in at 9:30, working from home. They're all telling me it's cool. So when it came for the time for them to review, to fire me, they're bringing up all this shit, and the guys didn't back me. They just didn't back me.
Because they weren't knowing that was that.
No, but the thing is, like, it kind of came into this kind of like a slave thing, where when white people want to gang up on you and get you out, they'll get you out. Wow. So it's literally like, when you go to work, sometimes I'm scared to talk to other black people because they act a bit odd when black people are congregating together. That's what I've noticed. So when I was kind of like the odd one out, or like my firing for that job was kind of imminent, I noticed that they didn't really want to chill with me anymore. And it kind of, I felt like, oh, she's the bad slave, you can be around her, messing angry at her. That's basically felt like. So literally, I left the role, but God is good because I got something that was like 10k higher.
Amen.
Much better, all expenses, travel and lunch paid.
Amen.
So I'm not upset at all, but just always keep your guard up when you go to work, man. That's all I would say. Like regardless of how many black people, they know how it is. If work starts at 9, you need to go there 8:45.
Politics or politics, son.
Yeah.
What politics or politics? All right. Have you guys got anything to add?
I'm actually just quite amazed because work politics are actually terrible. It doesn't kind of like matter wherever you are. Because shut up, Mohammed. I realized I was about to overshare. I was like, nah, I can't. So, how many of these places or how many different companies have you worked at? Which one was your favorite?
Ooh, okay. The company I got fired at, funnily enough, I liked it because of the culture.
Yeah.
It's very hard. For the first time, I could go into work and I could be myself. Well, clearly not, but, you know, you can be yourself. I would say the company that I'm working at now, I like it because I felt like, so the company I'm working at now, originally I applied to be like a systems engineer, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking to scale up here, so they brought me in, done the interview, done the technical test. They liked me so much, and my recruiter called back and said, you really smashed the interview. They actually want to hire you for a senior role.
That's what we're hearing 2020.
That's
what we're hearing 2020.
Amen. They're just
What
like,
do you mean?
they actually have a senior role that they wanted to open up in 6 months, but they think you're the right person, so they want to put you for that.
Yep.
And I was just like, 25k increase. I was like, okay, like, let's do this. And they were just like, yeah. So they flew me out to Australia. So my role is basically, I'm not the most technical person, so I wouldn't say I'm like a solution architect yet, but I guess my customer facing skills, being able to write like high level designs and being the support person is a bit of a hybrid role, so I'm kind of like doing everything. And it was great for my CV because it's one thing to work in tech, but when you're working in tech on a standalone role managing a client, people just think it's just amazing. So yeah, I mean, I would say the role I'm in now is one of my favourite. And then when I was working at a company called N3 on behalf of Microsoft, that was like the second job out of uni. That was really cool as well. I just